Well, I gave my talk this morning at Creative Life Spiritual Center, and my voice did not give out. My voice hung in there. Towards the end, it was a little bit iffy, but it hung in there, which was pretty good. And it's back again here now. Today's reading is about the little things. And oftentimes, of course, it's the little things in life that get in the way. Sometimes the big things are easy to handle because they're right in front of our face and they've got to be done, so we just get on with it. For instance, after the hurricane came through and there's lots of debris everywhere, streets are kind of messy, people just got stuck in. We did the first 2 days after the hurricane. We got in there, we cleared out our backyard, we cleared out the driveway, the front yard. We had most of the stuff pretty well done in 2 days, ready to clear away. And those are the things you do. And people who needed help, well, people pitched in and we helped them as well. And they helped the neighbors and so on. So oftentimes, as I said, the big things we do because they're right in our face and we got to do them. But the little things, it's those things we keep putting off. It's sometimes, this isn't what he's talking about today, but sometimes to me, the little things are procrastination. I procrastinate about doing stuff. And the funny thing is that when I start doing them, I feel good and I like doing them. I don't know why I don't stop. But he's talking about different things here, different little things. But I thought I would just kind of get that off my chest for now. The first quote is from someone called John Wooden, and for those of you who aren't familiar with sports in America, he was a famous coach, and he said, little things make big things happen. Little things make big things happen. It's quite famous, actually. Look him up if you don't know him. Wooden, just like wood and then N on the end. Ernest Holmes said, you can never be less, but must forever be more yourself as this life, capital L, within you, unfolds through your experiences. So in other words, as we keep trying and moving forward, we never truly go backwards. Holmes actually used the example of a spiral. He claimed that we go up in spirals in this life and whatever happens afterwards. So if you notice with a spiral, it goes up, it does come down a bit, but it's forever increasing. Its general direction is up. And that's what he's talking about here. Reverend John, that was in Living the Science of Mind, page 116. Living the Science of Mind, page 116. And it's actually quite a good book. I'd really never recommend to most people, anyway, I wouldn't say to anybody, but to most people, I very seldom recommend that they pick up this, which is, hang on, let me get back on my screen, which is the Science of Mind textbook. This is one edition. This is the 1930s edition. So it's a pretty big book. Better book, I think, is called Living the Science of Mind. Why? Because it's broken down into really short chapters. Usually it's 2 or 3 pages at a time, sometimes 4, like how to build your tomorrow today, that kind of thing. So I think it's easy to read. And there's another smaller book called How to Use the Science of Mind. Excuse me while I straighten up my shirt here. Oh, it's not very straight, is it? Anyway, it will work. So here's Reverend Joyce. There's a divine contradiction about the little things. He says, in my experience, when we take care of the little things, like basic kindness and authenticity, daily spiritual practice, touching base regularly with our most prized connections, the big things take care of themselves. He says, when giving sermons, my goal is never to try to hit a home run. I aim to just hit a single. Every once in a while, I rejoice that it goes over the fence. Or if you prefer a cricket analogy, it goes over the boundary, whatever. He says, whenever I get overwhelmed, I try to remember the fundamentals, and things tend to get back to harmony. And yet, in the same way, the little things can also be the most dangerous. A day of perfect composure can be lost over a dirty dish not placed in the sink. A little thing like saying a genuine "I love you" with eyes trained on the phone may come back to haunt us, in the same way as not making that person in front of you important enough as you buzz off to handle that also important to-do list. Robert Anton Wilson said, didn't look him up, "You are precisely as big as what you love and precisely as small as what you allow to annoy you." Final paragraph. Today, stay as big as what you love and don't let yourself get trapped in the small things. Today, do the little things that matter and have no time for the small things that don't. Today, instead of being whatever annoys you, be what you love. There's lots of ways of looking at this, right? But basic message is pretty simple, right? He's saying, take care of the small things and take care of the things that make you feel good and take care of the things that make other people feel good. Okay, so there's a dirty dish. Big deal. Somebody forgot to take out the garbage. Big deal. Let's face it, there will be another opportunity to take out the garbage. As I said, we resort, I mentioned either yesterday or the day before, the fact that Barbara and I use the passive voice when we're, instead of saying, "Hey, you forgot to put those in the dishwasher," you can say, "Oh, they were not put in the dishwasher." You're saying the same thing, but it's not a direct confrontation. And that is what we try to avoid. It's kind of like counting to 10. And we can do this in our everyday interactions with our significant other, people we know, people we love, people at work, etc. We can count to 10 before we reply. And typically, by the time you've counted to 10, guess what happens? Instead of reacting, you respond. You know, it's pretty easy to get ourselves feeling upset about lots of things. But the truth is that whatever happens, say, at the election in November, the odds are that most of us will still be around and will still be okay afterwards. We may not like the next 4 years that we have to go through, but let's face it, most of us will get through them. And then at the end, well, there's going to be change again. The real truth is that when we concentrate on what's in front of us and what's going on, we tend to forget all the junk that's out there. So let's concentrate on what's good and let the other stuff go to one side. And this isn't to say that we don't take care of things that we think are really important. I talked this morning a little bit about social activism, and social activism has got many different guises. When I came across social activism at first, it was primarily devoted to thinking about and taking action for people who are discriminated against, either because of their color, their gender, their sexual preferences, their nationality, their religion. But it's bigger than that. It's a lot bigger than that. It's more than that, should I say. It is all those things, but it's a lot more than that as well. One thing that's really important right now, I think, is taking care of our planet. And I think that is a focus for social activism. And you can do that in really, really small ways. You know, I think I mentioned this, and I'm probably preaching again about this, but real easy ways. Recycle as much as you can. If you live in a place or in a situation where you can have a compost heap, hey, put a lot of stuff in the compost heap that is suitable for composting instead of throwing it in the garbage. That helps. And this is probably most important, and this I get from my wife and other people. Try and give somebody a compliment whenever you're out there shopping, whenever you're out there in the world, whatever you're doing. See if you can't find someone to whom you can give a compliment. And it can be really simple. Wow, I like your shoes. Oh, that's a nice tie. Although people don't seem to wear ties much these days. That's a nice t-shirt. Yeah, I kind of like this t-shirt. I like the color actually. But just little things. And pay compliments to the people near you. If your significant other cooks a meal and you like it, say, wow, this was a really tasty meal. And tell them why. I like it because you spiced it up just the way I like it. These are the little things in life that can make things different. So, as Reverend Josh and others say, when we take care of the little things, what did John Wooden say? Little things make big things happen. Little things make big things happen. That's really all I've got to say today, except to once again read out the affirmation, which says, I take care of the little things this day. The big things take care of themselves. I take care of the little things this day. The big things take care of themselves. I'm going to plug our class. It starts tomorrow. Even if you miss signing up by tomorrow, you've still got another week where you can sign up for it. But if you want to take it, don't procrastinate. The link is on the bottom of the course description. It tells you where to go when you want to sign up. So it's a good class. Whether I was teaching it or not, it's a good class. Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock-ish. I'll be back tomorrow at 5-ish. Tomorrow is kind of, I don't know, because I'm leading a mediation all afternoon. I start teaching a class at 6:30. So hopefully in that time frame between driving back and starting that class, I can find some time in there to do my reading. But if not, it's going to be about 9:15 tomorrow night. So, but it will happen. I promise you it will happen tomorrow unless something wild and wonderful gets in the way. So once again, I appreciate all of you watching. I look forward to another reading from Reverend Josh, and I just wish the rest of everybody else, everyone, a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Until next time, namaste.